Hey guys, ECRG here. We're back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about handy computer trackers, handy computer items that a CRA would keep on their computer just to be handy, and things that are so important on a day-to-day basis, daily basis, that you use and refer to on it all the time. So these are those items that I'm talking about here. First and foremost, we've got the FAQ log or the Q&A log. These are common questions that sites have asked in the past, usually can be dealing with concomitant medications that are not specified in the protocol that patients end up taking. These can be any questions, popular questions that sites ask that may be nuanced or not nuanced, but common questions that sites may ask that people would think that other sites will ask in the future, so they put them on this log so they can be easily searched for and referenced in the future. That's the Q&A log, one of the most important logs. We did a video on it before. I'm trying to think what the name of that video was. Maybe a CRA's best friend or something like that. Anyway, if you want to learn more about that log, you can watch that video. But that's one of the things that's kept on my computer at all times, because you never know when a site's going to call or email with some questions or have some questions about something like that. That's the first thing I always check, the Q&A log. The next thing I keep up is typically either a site management tracker. The site management tracker, because that's going to have the sites that everybody is assigned to, all the CRAs are assigned to. So that's sent out typically whenever it's updated. It's sent out by usually the lead CRA or the clinical trial lead on the study. That's going to have a list of all of the sites on the study along with their contact information, email address, fax number, anything you need to get in touch with anybody at the site. It's going to have the PI, study coordinator, any research assistants, any pharmacist information on there. Any and everybody that you need to contact at the site, even sub-Is will be on there. Any raters, if you're doing any CNS trials, are going to be on there. And they're going to have their contact information there, so you can reach out and contact them. So I keep that up at all times, because you never know when you need to send a quick email or give a site a quick phone call. So that's kept up. And there's also going to be, especially it gets nuanced if there are different aspects of it. Let's say there's like PK or main aspects of a site. If there are different cohorts and different sites are randomized to different cohorts and things like that. So that's very important to always have up on your computer, because you never know when you're going to need to contact somebody from that site. So that's always up. Always, always, always. And it's especially important if you are a CRA on multiple studies, which a lot of people are. You very rarely are allocated fully to one protocol. You're typically going to be on 2, sometimes 3, but definitely more than 1 typically. So you keep those up at all times. Let's see. Another thing I keep up, and I use OneNote for all of my management. That's pretty much how I do my either any calls or visits in that form. On my OneNote, I will typically write down a lot of the information that is with the site. Any pertinent information will be kept on the OneNote file. I will also have email addresses for site personnel and contact information there as well. So even though I do keep the site management tracker up, that also has the information, you can never be too redundant, because you want to be able to think, okay, I need this. You don't want to have to flinch or anything like that when wanting to get some information. You want it to be somewhat redundant. So OneNote is always kept up. If I need to refer to something, did we talk about this last time I talked to the site? It's always good to be able to refer to that in the OneNote. And there's different nuances and different notes in there too. Like, did they have a report in SAE last time? You can refer to that also in your last report, but reports aren't always kept up on the computer for sure. But OneNote is. That's definitely a place where take a lot of notes, and you can always refer back and forth there if need be. So that is always kept up on the computer as well. Let's see what other trackers there are. Next thing that is always kept up on the computer, always, is the protocol. As a monitor, as a person on the clinical operations side, you have got to be well versed in the protocol. But obviously you're not going to memorize everything. These protocols are hundreds of pages usually. So I always keep a version of the protocol, the most recent version, or sometimes if there's a new version that came out, a new update, not all of the sites are going to be with that update at the same time. So you're going to need 2 versions of the protocol up. So that's always kept up on the computer as well. So I always hate usually having to restart my computer because then I got to go dig all that stuff up again. But trust me, it's a lot better having it up and easily accessible than having to go dig for it every single time you want to use it, because I use all of these things on a day-to-day basis. Literally daily, I'm referring to the Q&A log for some questions sites asking, or I'm referring to Site Management Tracker because I need to reach out to the site for something, or I'm referring to OneNote because maybe we discussed something and I need to give some information to somebody, or they're asking me a question that about some aspect of the protocol, so I need to go dig in the protocol and read it and understand a little bit more about what they're asking. So that's important to know. So protocol is always up, Q&A log is always up, Site Management Tracker is always up, and that's it for these main trackers. Those are bread and butter trackers I always keep up on a day-to-day basis, and that's just because they're referred to on a day-to-day basis. So hope that helps you guys. Ask questions down below. Maybe if I didn't explain some of the trackers enough, or want to know more about a little bit more in depth to these trackers. Maybe I can even show you how to create these trackers if need be. A lot of these trackers are created by the project team. So yeah, someone on the project team usually creates them and distributes them and is responsible for maintaining the trackers. So as a monitor, I'm not really in charge of updating the tracker in that regard. I'm just in charge of, I'll tell the project team, if there's a turnover in the site staff, they got a new study coordinator or something, but they're in charge of making sure that the tracker's updated and up to date for me. So that's well appreciated. And these trackers are so important. We've talked about the importance of the Q&A log, and I think that's the most important one, honestly. That saved me so many times when sites ask questions and I just don't know the answer. And a lot of the times, it's the same question that other sites may have. So that's awesome that they created a log that's so high yield. So I'm a big fan of that log. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, like, share, subscribe. Don't forget that hit that red subscribe button. If you're listening, just go ahead and do it right now. Follow us on the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, please rate us. We have loved to get you guys ratings and opinions on how you're enjoying the podcast as well. So rate us there. Comment down below. Email us, eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com, if you have any inquiries. If you want to become a part of the resume review program, email us there. Want anything else, any other inquiries, email us there also. Take care, guys.